is the UTV Network, and you're with UTVR.
I'm Gurcharan, and I'm here with Ashis Nandy to discuss my new book, The Difficulty of Being Good, on the subtle art of dharma.
Well, Gurcharan, your title doesn't tell us that this is a book primarily on the Mahabharata. And the first question that I would like to ask you, as anybody who picks up the book would do, that why did you choose the Mahabharata for your purpose?
Ashish, I chose the Mahabharata because I knew that the Mahabharata was obsessed with dharma. And I was exceedingly depressed by the state of governance, by the corruption in our society. And I also knew that the Mahabharata was seeking a notion of civic virtue right through the epic. Not only the virtue of the citizen, but the virtue of the ruler. And I thought that here's a work which deals with the public space, apart from the private space, of course. And that really was the driving force to go to the Mahabharata. And
I wanted to ask you that people have been reading the Mahabharata in its present form for perhaps more than 1,000 years. And if that has not given them clues on how to negotiate life and governance, do you think your book will make a difference?
That's a very good question, a loaded question. I don't expect that this book will give you it's not a how-to book, not a self-help book.
I'm glad that you say that.
How can I be good? Just as the Mahabharata could never be a self-help book. It's too frightening to be anything like that. But you know what, Ashish, what both the Mahabharata and this book, I hope, do is that they force you to look at yourself in the mirror and make you see yourself and how you deceive yourself, thinking you're good when maybe you're not. And we have 20 million officials in the government of India. Every day they have each 10 interactions with the public, all of which are morally ambiguous. So I'm hoping these 200 million interactions, daily interactions of the citizen with the state will make some of them look at themselves in the mirror.
Well, if you perhaps do not know that a Calcutta psychiatrist, psychoanalyst actually, Vijay Ketu Bosu, who was the grandson of Virendra Shekhar Bose, wrote a book on Mahabharata which uses the Mahabharata as a possible framework for psychotherapeutic and psychoanalytic therapy.
Fascinating.
Yes. He found that was the best use he could make of the...
Yeah. And each of us actually, the Mahabharata is a classic because every generation can look at it and interpret it for itself. And ours is a post-reform, post-modern generation. And frankly, what I find the Mahabharata does, although it does not provide you, even at the very end, Yudhishthira is still looking for dharma. So they don't even find it. Nevertheless, what it does is it improves your moral reasoning. Because no character appeals to God as in the Abrahamic traditions. Here, you're forced to look at yourself, which gives you tremendous autonomy, responsibility to act in a certain way.
I get the point that it gives you the wherewithal for a intervention that is more informed with dharmic reasoning, if I might put it that way. But if the Dharmaputra himself, Yudhishthira, couldn't at the end find dharma, what do you think our chances are of getting it?
Well, exactly. I mean, I think that certainly that is a very, very important way to look at it and to feel skeptical. However, the Mahabharata, through the actions of Yudhishthira, right throughout, whether it is with the Yaksha, when he chooses to revive Madri's son instead of his own Kunti's, his own mother's son, whether it is in his insistence to take that stray dog into heaven and not insisting that he can't go to heaven and otherwise, these actions provide you with very powerful ideals. Not that we can achieve them ourselves, but we all need ideals to live by. And so while there is ambiguity about dharma, and the Mahabharata is very sensible in saying that, look, dharma is not the science of like mathematics, where 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Far too much ambiguity. Yet, it leaves us in the character of Yudhishthira as well as in Arjuna very real, something to aspire for.
One thing might interest you, that if you look at the history of publication over the last 60 years, I think the interest in Mahabharata has grown more than the interest in Ramayana. And even though the Ramayana is also concerned with issues of governance. And I was wondering if you can speculate as to why this growing interest in the Mahabharata. Because in Mahabharata people have sought for heroes for their times. The emergence of Karna as a crucial figure is itself partly a contribution of our times. And perhaps the rediscovery of Krishna as a hidden hero of Mahabharata.
Yes. No, this is very, very interesting what you say, and I believe that the Mahabharata actually is much closer to our lives and to the way we are than the Ramayana. Ramayana is too perfect. Rama is a perfect hero. His brother is perfect. His wife is perfect. Even the villain is perfect. This is about flawed human beings. And I think that's why it resonates with us. On this note, I think let's take a break and come back, Ashish.